Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of Ambient Talkie, a show where we dive into some weird and wacky equipment and wonderful, call it whatever you want, music. I'm Andy from Tyran Robbins, and I hope you're ready for a bit of dronage. So if you like Infinity, you're probably gonna like this episode. If you have ever watched me, try to explain my eurorack setup, you might have seen me use this thing. Now, this is Endless Processor by BLUKAČ, which is in fact an endless processor. So in other words, you throw something into this and this thing is gonna prolong it till infinity. So in essence, this is a dual channel sound sustainer, as it does a bit, it does its magic a bit differently than your run-of-the-mill granular synth, as this thing resynthesizes whatever you throw it in. So it doesn't actually sample, but it takes the information and then does a bit of magic, and then it just like kind of prolongs it till the end of the earth. So yeah, it's really cool if you want to capture some interesting timbres and sound qualities from a variety of your instruments. So before we go into the fun part, which will just be me trying to feed Endless Processor with different instruments and different ideas, just so we can see what it does, I think it's really cool if we just talk a bit about controls and a bit about the headplate and everything, what this module actually does. So just so we know what we're doing. So like I said, this is a dual channel processor. So you have channel 1 on this side, channel 2 on this side, and you have your inputs and outputs corresponding to those. Now, of course, you have your dry signal, which is basically just so you can listen to whatever you're trying to capture. And then you have your wet signal, which is the prolonged sustained note that this thing basically captured in its buffer. And you have both of these on each channel, so you can change the thing from channel 1 to channel 2 by using this little switch. Now, as you can see, there are quite a few input points for CV manipulation. And the one thing that I have mentioned here is you can switch between those. You can, with CV, you can control volume 1, volume 2, you can control the clear function, the record function, the layer function, whatever. But I don't think that you can control this, which is a real shame, because, if you want to automate a bit of the process to make it a bit more, a bit more generative, then that'd be a really cool way. Maybe there's a new firmware that I'm not aware of, where you would just, you would use something else to basically control the channel selection, but for now, there is none. However, BLUKAČ Endless Processor does have a few cool tricks along the way. You have the memory, which is basically gonna tell you the size of the buffer. So how is it gonna process the things that you feed it? So it's either gonna take a very, very small portion, or it's gonna listen to like 3 seconds, it's gonna stack it up and then create out of that. So this basically drastically changes the character of your sustained tone. And I do have I have luck with this thing, so sometimes I think it's gonna work really well if we have like a long memory, but then it doesn't, so it works better with smaller memory. And sometimes I think, oh yeah, smaller memory this, but then you actually see the longer memory does it. But looking at the manual, this basically tells you, hey, if you want to do just a little quality of the timbre, use smaller memory or like shorter memory, and if you want to sustain like a whole sequence or something like that, then you would use a longer. However, it really depends on the source material. Then we have the layers here. Now, layers are pretty cool. However, they are based on how you set it up. So by default, this is in stack mode, meaning that you can record one sustained tone and then move you can record another layer on top of that, and on top of that, on top of that, and up to 5 layers for each channel, meaning 10 different drony boys just going on about your lovely sonic adventures. But I have it a bit differently. I put it on alternative mode because you can basically sustain like you can basically change between sustained tones. So if you can create like a little chord progression just out of that by moving from one layer to another. And when you move from one layer to another, there are these two knobs here that could be beneficial: the fade in and fade out. Now, what does that mean? Well, it simply means that when you if you go from one layer to the other, or you record something into the buffer, fade in is gonna tell you how much time is it gonna need to fade in another sound, and fade out's gonna tell you how much time is it gonna need for the old sound to fade out. Now, what I really wish it would do, that it would crossfade between those sounds rather smoothly, but it's a shame because it doesn't. There's a gap in between those, at least on my module here. So what you need to do in order to skip that, you would need to either prolong reverb or add a bit of effects, just so that gap between those gives it a bit smoother feel, because now it just basically it fades out, then it's a bit of silence, and then it fades in. So it's not like a hard cut, but it'd be really cool if we could crossfade between those. It'd be an amazing little addition. But again, I'm talking way ahead of myself. Let's just see what this thing does. So in this episode I thought, hey, I have a few different instruments that maybe we can try to capture the timbre and then see what this device actually does. So in a way, here I have a piano. Me thinks that this is a piano. So let's say, there we go. So I have a piano, and we can basically try to sustain. So I'm gonna put memory around here because it kind of works well if it's like just a bit above, at least for me. And then I'm gonna press C. And there we go. We have a sustained piano tone. And one thing that you can notice here is that it sounds really beautiful. It's organic, and it has a bit of movement in this drony tone. It's not so, it's not so flat, at least with these settings that I have here. And of course, you can do much more than just a pure tone. You can basically, if you wanna, like, let's say for example, if you wanna sample or capture like a whole chord, you can do that. And just like that, you have a pretty lovely tone. Now, one thing that I really like to do, and this is because I thought, like, when I got the Endless processor, I wanted to, it was nothing, it wasn't that, it wasn't a thing that would, smack me down with amazement, because like it just does that. It takes a tone and it like prolongs it. But like there are cool little trick that I just figured out a few days ago, is that there's a cool way how you can quite easily find good ways of using this. Now, for example, you're not hearing it because otherwise YouTube would lynch me, but I'm just now throwing in some sounds from Oklo's new album called Choke Enough. And what I'm gonna do is, we don't hear what we're getting in, but I'm just gonna capture something. And just like that, it surprises us because we are not we don't really know what we're getting. And you can create by adding a bit of effects. And we can create so many cool things just by basically capturing stuff that we don't hear. And using a bit of effects as well, of course. And this works really well with different things. Let's say, for example, I'm pretty sure that if I capture this now, this, you're probably gonna know that this is Imogen Heap. And, you know, you can create a whole new instrument just with this. So yeah, that's a cool little thing that you can do, and you can get inspired by the music that you listen to, or you can like hear, if you hear some interesting timbre in a track that you like and you just want to, you know, get that timbre in, you can get it, because this thing basically resynthesizes, and you can create something out of that specific drone. So yeah, that's a cool little neat trick. Now another thing that I think would be really cool to see is basically we have a trombone here. And this is from Labs, and it's called like a bumblebee trombone. So it's like, it's not really smooth, but it like kind of fluctuates. But the good thing is that if we sample that, you can hear that there's a bit of that movement still inside of that. So it's not just taking one tone, it's like taking the whole dynamic of how that instrument is played. Now, if we prolong the memory a bit, there's more information, therefore more chaos. So this is where I said that you kind of need to find the right memory length in order to get the desired results. And you can hear, like, just in the background, there's still a bit of movement, which I really enjoy, and I think that's like really cool. Yeah. Now another cool thing that I really like about this is basically when you try to sample voices. So this is like Mika Choir from Labs as well, and I love like the timbre of this. So let's see what this happens, like how it happens. So it's really smooth. Maybe we can add like a little choir. Now I put like a little fifth. Let's see if I put a little sixth. Oh man, that's sweet. And just like that, man, you can get such a lovely way. So if I were to play, like if I were to move to this, to another, and just like play a different chord, let's say maybe something like this. Or, let me try like this. So you can see that you can move from one to the other. Of course, if you do a bit of different fade. But the thing is that the one problem that I have is also, you know, because if it's a dynamic instrument or something like that, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna take the material, but like depending on how loud exactly was it at that point of buffering, or when it kind of captured it, it's gonna stay that volume. So if you have like different layers with different volume, channel 1, it's gonna change the volume as well. So, you know, it's not really the way how I would have it, but I do understand that, you know, those are like the limits that you have to work with, because like it's doing an incredible job on how it's doing that, which what it's supposed to do. And then I guess it would be up to me just to see if I can get the volumes correctly. So you can really change the volumes when you're jumping from one to the other. All right. Now another cool thing that we can try here is basically we can try how it works on. Let me see if I have it here. No. Damn it. Let me see. All right, I think we have it. So I have some drums here. Yeah, pretty sweet. But I want to see how it kind of works as an accompaniment. So you can do that. So it just takes a small little part, but it's pretty great if you're doing like techno or anything like that, and you want a sustained tone, just so you can maybe reshape it, or you know, like little noise that you can filter or something like that. You can use Endless Processor just to like capture a very noisy part. Well, it's not really noisy, but it's like it sustains it this way because there's a lot of information and basically becomes noise, obviously, if you do it like this. Like, of course, if I do... So this is just like a field recording of bees. Now, because there's still some traffic in that portion of the recording, it takes, there's essence of that sound character still in, but you know, there's still a bit too noisy. But we still have bees in, right? So maybe if I take a smaller part, like a shorter part, now we have more bees. Because it took a shorter part and then just like by pure luck it managed to create. So now you have like 10,000 bees at your door. Okay, let's see. Here we have... This is crickets. Oh, that's really beautiful. It's like so calming. Maybe a bit more, so... Maybe more? No, maybe less. Just listen to it for a bit. There's still movement in it, which I find very cool. Okay. Now we have some birds. again, birds can be quite harsh to sample. Oh, but it sounds rather cool. And creepy. So if you're ever in a forest and you hear the sudden call of the banshee, run. Alright, cool. What else do we have? Oh, we have water, but I think I have a better sample here. Okay, yeah, this is the waterfall sampler with a contact microphone. Now, I think this is gonna work better if we combine these. And effect it up, baby. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, you know, I always get lost pretty quickly because it's very, very fun. Oh, also there's this sample of a field recording that I made, and this is a church bell, which is perfect for droning. So you can have this and which is pretty awesome. And what else? Oh, we have some bats. Okay, I'm gonna... So again, and last but not least, we do have some bats, of course. So I'm gonna take a smaller portion. So the problem here is that, like, you still need to take care of your time. Like, because it's gonna capture it, but you know, to be precise and when it captures, that like takes a bit of trickage on your part. But yeah, this is it when it comes to a little dive into Endless Processor and why I really enjoy this lovely little device here. It's pretty awesome, as you can hear. You can create some interesting and very usable drone tones. So if you like a few of these drone tones, I'm gonna put them on Patreon. I'm gonna make a little sample library for you guys. So for those that are not on my Patreon, what are you doing? You can be cool and like give me money on a monthly basis, and you get sweet little sounds. So that's pretty cool for you and for me. But anyways, guys, I wanna thank you for taking the time of joining me here with the Endless Processor. I'm gonna link it up a bit in the description just so you can check it out for yourself. It's a wonderful module that also has an expansion pack, but I don't have that, so I cannot show that. But yeah, anyways, do the YouTube thing. Like if you like this video, if you enjoy this type of content, you can also subscribe. Be my friend, you know, be a cool little dude or dudette. Anyways, but most importantly, this is something that I have to say. So, have a lovely rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you might be watching this, and do take care. Ciao.